time. In fact, a good friend of mine that I went to high school with, actually, he was my best man at my wedding.
Okay.
I haven't seen him since 1998,
Right.
98 or
Oh
99.
wow. 35
And
years.
every time I came into
35
town,
years.
yeah, it's been a long time.
Right.
Every time I would come into town, he's a married guy, got kids, the whole thing. So it was always, oh, well, I got this going on, or I got that, or I'm doing this with the family, or I gotta, whatever. So it's always been, I gotta do something else, and finally, he showed up at the hotel,
Right.
to my surprise. I honestly didn't think he was going to come,
Right.
just because of all the, excuses for the various reasons why he couldn't meet up with me at points. And he actually showed up at the hotel, and me and Mean Metal X and him, we all sat and, just kind of had a pretty fun time.
That's cool.
Lots of laughs. My friend Evan, not only did I go to high school with him, but I was a busboy at Bob Evans for a couple of years, from
Sure.
the age of 16 until I went to college. Graduated from high school and went on to college, and he worked with me at Bob Evans. And another girl that I went to high school with, Nancy, she came over and took me out to dinner, and she worked at Bob Evans. So it was kind of like not only was it seeing people from high school, but it was like seeing people that I used to work with. And we were just trading some stories about some of the shenanigans that used to go on
Right.
at Bob Evans. This was back when you could have fun at work.
Sure.
And, some of the stuff that was said or some of the things that we did would not fly today.
Right. Of course not.
We were just kind of relating some stories and laughing about a manager that we had at Bob Evans. He was in the Marine Corps, so he was this big burly guy, and he would always call the waitresses at Bob Evans hookers.
Right.
And so every time, like, he'd be sitting at the counter or something, and one of the waitresses needed to get into the storeroom to get some supplies or something.
Right.
And the storeroom was always locked up, so they needed to get the storeroom keys from him. And they tell him, hey, Mike, I need to get the keys to get into the storeroom. And he goes, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. And he'd be talking to somebody or doing some paperwork or something, and they'd kind of get impatient. And he wore his keys on a little clip on his belt.
Okay.
So they would come over there and try to distract him and try to unclip the keys off of his belt loop and try to take the keys while he's sitting there.
Great.
And he would catch him in the act, and he'd turn around and go, "Get off me, hooker!"
It's funny.
But it was a lot of fun. So I was glad to get away, and I took care of some business as I had told you. I took some time to do a little bit of financial investing.
Right.
And I got that taken care of. So I was able to make some investments while I was off.
Nice.
And that was, that worked out well.
Sure.
And, here we are. We're back at it again.
Yes, we are. We're right back to it. So what do you got planned for the new year? And, I never was this guy. I want to preface this. I never have been this guy. But this is the year I'm deciding to be the guy to actually I set a goal or two and shoot toward them for the new year. I'm going to be the stereotypical douche that kisses his girlfriend as the ball hits zero and fucking, this is what I'm doing in 2026. So do you have anything that you're trying to do, improve, whatever for the new year?
Well, I kind of started my improvement back in Thanksgiving. I talked about this before, we left, but I've been hitting the elliptical every day, and getting a little bit of cardio in on a daily basis, and it's really made a big difference.
Okay.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't drink cocktails during the show anymore.
I did not notice that.
I,
No.
I haven't done that in probably about little over 3 months.
Are you trying to stop drinking or just
No,
drinking during
no,
the show?
just not doing that during the show.
All right.
Like I had some wine last night, but that was about it.
Okay.
But so just kind of improving that way. I've made the improvements prior to the new year. I'm not into the whole resolutions to this year I'm going to do this or this year I'm going to do that. My one priority that sticks out in my head right now is obviously the book.
Right, sure.
Getting that done and completed and available later in this year. So that to me is number one priority outside of the normal stuff that you have priorities for. But
why?
As far as, health, finances, personal affairs, I got pretty much most of that in line. Mm-hmm. It never really has ever gotten out of line, but there's always room for improvement.
Right.
And like I said, I started that back around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And I feel better. I feel healthier. I feel more alert.
Sure.
Because I was getting into a slump there, and it kind of leads to depression.
Right. Oh yeah.
Movement is very important.
Mm-hmm.
So getting up and moving and, you can just kind of slowly, and it's a very slow process, but you can slowly get into depression.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even though you function every day, do your normal stuff, go to work, do all the things that you normally do on a personal mental level, you can just kind of slowly sink into a depressing spiral.
Right.
And I kind of recognized that for myself. And like I said, back around Thanksgiving, I decided that, all right, I draw the line here.
Right. Sure.
So that's what I've been working at. That's what I have been doing. And, I know that, changes are inevitable. Mm-hmm. And I want to be mentally prepared and emotionally prepared for, anything that were to come down the road.
Right.
So that's the most important for me.
I hear you. Well, I'm doing something that y'all have been saying I need to do for about 5 years. My number one goal is getting the fuck out of this house and doing stuff.
Doing
stuff. And I'll be honest, that's why I made so many changes at the end of the year to like caps and to like I ended the network and all that shit. It was taking so much time in my life that I just didn't have time to do anything else. I couldn't, even on days that I didn't have shows, like a Thursday. I don't have a show on a Thursday. Mm-hmm. But I would still have to use that day to prep for Saturday or to prep for the Monday show or whatever, or to work on other people's shit, to prep the Talking Into Infinity videos, to get them scheduled and up and all that other stuff. So I cut all that out so I would have some time now. And I'm going to make a conscious effort to get out of this house. With work, with Billy, I'm going to have to a lot more. I mean, that's going to require me to go there.
Right.
Which, good. That's one of the things that I need is to go somewhere a day a week at least. The other thing that I need to do is just get out and start having fun again. It's funny, Stephanie and John just this week busted my balls something fierce because there's a Megadeth thing on January 22nd, 26th, something like that. I forget what the exact date is. I wrote it down. But it's like this, it's like a listening party the night before the Megadeth album comes out.
Okay.
But it also comes with some kind of a movie, like the Megadeth movie or something before. I think we actually covered this on the show.
Yeah, that he's doing it in Nashville, right?
Well, but it's going to be you can go to the movies and see it. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the actual event is happening in Nashville, correct?
Yeah, I believe so, yes. But I'm going to go to, I know this is a big deal. I'm going to go 12 miles down the road to Valley View Movie Theater to go see this thing. And
All right.
I told John this, and he's like, I'm not buying you a fucking ticket.